Hi everyone, I'm Liz, and welcome back to Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch for Flosstube episode 109. Take two! Hi guys, let's try this again, shall we? Welcome to another Sunday Flosstube episode. It is now Monday. You might be watching this on a Tuesday. Who knows? I finally think I'm gonna get a video up. Yeah, so yesterday on Sunday, Father's Day, happy Father's Day. My mom, Sissy, she came over to film with me and show off all her wonderful quilts and cross stitch. And we filmed, she went home, it was all good, and then I put the footage onto my computer to try to edit, and it was terrible quality. It was unwatchable. It was like we were in a hazy fog, and it was just the worst. Nobody would have wanted to watch it. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Elizabeth and Sissy show. So I decided to refilm today, and hopefully I'll be able to use some clips from the not great video over some of my mom's quilt pictures and things, so you can hear her talking about them, because you know, I didn't want to ask her to come back and film again with me today, so I'm just going to try to, you know, share some of her projects in this video with clips from yesterday. Hi, how's everybody doing? It's been 2 weeks since my last video. I turned 40 since the last video, had a very good time on my birthday trip in Colorado. I shared a ton of photos and stuff over on my Instagram, which is Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch. And hopefully I put some of those in the beginning of this video for you. It was like vacationing inside a postcard. I've been to Colorado before, and I've been to the mountains before, like in Breckenridge, that area of Colorado, but Garden of the Gods was something else. And I haven't been, I guess, in the mountain area like in summer. So it was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The weather wasn't the absolute best, but we had some really good days and some really good hours of some days, but it did rain pretty much every single day. And especially, let's see, Monday, June 12th, I think that was our last full day while we were there, and it poured rain, was in the 40s, and then we tried to go up to the top of Pikes Peak, and it was too windy and too snowy. And I don't even think it was the snow that was a problem, it was the wind being over 60 miles per hour. So they actually turned our train around, well, they don't really turn it around, they just reverse you, and pulled us back down the mountain because they were like, you can't get out at the top. So we almost saw Pikes Peak, but we had a fun story out of it, watching it like blizzard outside this train in June, which is wild. But they said it happens like once a month up until like July. You know, it usually doesn't happen in August, they said, but it gets a lot colder up on top of Pikes Peak when you're 14,000 feet up. So anyways, that was our trip. I'm trying to remember what I talked about in the last video, but I think I'm just gonna have to like completely wing it, and hopefully I remember everything I want to say and I don't feel like I'm repeating myself and leaving things out. So yeah, I just feel a slightly crazy redoing a video because I'm like, I've already talked about all this, but it's okay. I'll make it through. Other than the birthday trip, we'll see, we came home last week and I worked a few days, and now we're in the middle of a long weekend. Well, we're at the end of a long weekend. Happy Juneteenth. I had Monday today off from work, so back to the grind tomorrow. But this weekend we did host a little backyard birthday barbecue, kind of half birthday, half Father's Day for my dad, and it was awesome. Just swam in the pool. It was like 1,000,000 degrees and so humid here, so it was perfect to just hang out in the pool and have some cocktails. And then yeah, I don't know, it was just really fun to celebrate. And thank you guys all so much for the birthday wishes on Instagram. I posted some photos from our trip and then from our little party, so I did it. I know it's not that big a deal to turn 40, but I don't know. It feels like it right now, but I'm moving past it. Except for just like an hour ago when I was walking towards our bedroom and we have those big number balloons that say 40, and I looked at them and I just looked at Rob and I go, how? When? How? Why? How did this happen? And he's been 40 for a couple of years, so he's like, get over it. It's fine. I'm over it. I'm over it. Okay, so let's see. What did I have to show y'all today? I have some cross-stitch whips, and most of them are new starts because I started a lot of new things since I've last seen you. And I have just cross-stitch whips. That's right. Okay, yeah. So Mom, we did a sewing segment and quilt segment when Mom was here yesterday, so I will definitely show you that stuff after I do my cross-stitch whips. And then I have a couple of really fun giveaways that I want to do, and a little bit of haul and happy mail. So yeah, let's get into the cross-stitch. Okay, so the first one I'm going to show you is a new start, and it is by Hello from Liz Matthews, and it's from her Patreon. It's called Sun Soaked, and I think I told you guys about this in my last video that I was planning on starting it, and so I definitely did. And here is my progress on Sun Soaked. I did take this one with me on my trip just because it was super easy to work on, but I only got a little bit of stitching on it because once I started my birthday start, that's all I wanted to work on. So just a little bit of progress here on Sun Soaked. And let's see if I can remember everyone. So Lauren, New Hampshire Stitcher, is the one who inspired me to go immediately kit it up and start it. And she started hers, and I think she's more progress. And then I think Jessica, Sweetwater Stitcher, is also stitching along with us. And oh, I'm forgetting. I'll put some names if I forgot down below, and then in the description box I'll link everybody. But we have a nice little informal stitch along going with this Sun Soaked chart, and this is something that you can only get through Liz's Patreon. So I will link her Patreon down below, and she does monthly free patterns depending on what tier you're in. So yeah, I am stitching mine on the called for linen, which is Fiber on a Whim Cypress, and I have 36 count, and I'm using her called for DMC colors, except I think this light pink I had to switch out because I didn't have the exact one she called for, but I think my substitution is fine. So yeah, that is Sun Soaked. Okay, my next new start is my birthday start, and this is Margaretha Schropfer by Jeanette Douglas. And I'll put the hashtag that I'm using on the screen here. If you have started this or are stitching along, please post it on Instagram and tag me because I want to see. This is what I mostly stitched on our trip. So once I started this on my birthday, I put a lot of stitches into it while we were gone because it's really fun to stitch. So here is where I got to on this one. It's really just like a band sampler, and so each little band like feels like a little completion, and they're really not too big. It's a very narrow sampler, so you know, it really does move pretty fast. And I am stitching mine on the called for linen, so I have a 36 count. Oh, I forgot the name of it. Dang it, I'll put it on the screen. But it's a Lakeside linen, and I happen to have it in my stash, which was awesome. And then I am using the DMC conversion instead of the silks. And I ultimately decided to use DMC because one, there were just a ton of colors, so it would have been an expensive project to kit up in silks. And then the other reason is that because some of the colors are used really sparingly in just a few places, and I just was like, you know what, let me just get the DMCs. Love DMC, who cares, you know, right? So like, I love to stitch in silk and I love to do the called for, but in some cases I'm like, I'm just gonna do the DMC. This was a ton of colors and some of them weren't used very much. And I think it's turning out beautiful. This color of this alphabet was called to be like a Splendor, I think, thread. And I've never worked with those. I'm sure I could get it pretty easily, but they had a DMC conversion for that Splendor. So I went ahead and just used the DMC for that too. And I think it looks great. So that is my progress on my birthday start, and I need to get a picture of this so I can post it on Instagram because I've posted this in my stories while I was working on it, but I am the absolute worst at taking pictures for Instagram. So I want my Instagram to be like up to date and like a journal of stitching projects I'm working on and have completed, and it has just not been that this year. I just have been really bad about actually taking photos and then remembering to post them, because when I think about posting photos, it's like midnight when I'm laying in bed playing on my phone before I go to sleep, and I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna go take a photo. And if I have a photo, I'm like, who wants me to, I don't want to post this at midnight. And then I forget to do it the next day, and then the cycle repeats. And that's why I don't have pictures on Instagram anymore. But you know, maybe it's someday I'll get better at social media. Yeah, so that is my birthday start, and it came to Colorado with me, and it's a pretty little project bag, my little Blackbird bag I showed y'all. And all the DMC. I like finally, I think I did all this kitting up after my last video. So I got everything kitted up, and I used floss drops that have been given to me at retreats. So let's see, these are from Kay Dunlap. Thank you, Kay. This one is from Holly, Hobbies of Holly. So cute. Look, she's a little Holly hobby doll. And then Pam and Steph are on here. Look at little Steph. And then where's Pam? There's Pam. I just absolutely love using these floss drops that people hand out. And so I had, you know, I have a big stack of them I keep in the drawer. And whenever I kit up things with DMC that need their own floss drops, I love to pull from that stack. And then I also put this on, this little DMC charm. How cute is that? I think this is from Kathy Holden. I know it's from Moda. So on Fat Quarter Shop, they list a lot of these little charms, and they call them like zipper charms, I think. But I think it looks so cute as like a little floss drop or a floss bling. Is that what they're called? And so I know Kathy Holden designed some for Moda, and some other designers do too. And so I have this super cute DMC one, and the other one I actually did put on my zipper, and it's a little cross stitch looking hoop. And I hung that from the zipper of my project bag. So this project is just like all cuted up and, you know, really fun to work on. So yay, that is my birthday start. The next whip is another new start. And this one is Nicole Spore's fault. So I don't know if you guys know Nicole, I'm sure you do, but she is a like professional like card maker. She makes cards and things, and she also now does Flosstube videos, and she quilts and does all kinds of crafty things. And she posted something and I immediately had to start it. And it is this freebie from Teresa Kogut called Create Every Day. And I'll put a picture of Nicole's version right here that she posted on Instagram. And I immediately came into the craft room and kitted up my own version because I had to make a rainbow version of Create Every Day. And this is how far I got. So yeah. I am stitching this on Zweigart Blush Pink Linen. Blush, I think it's just called Blush Linen in 40 count. And this is the opposite end of the piece where I'm stitching my Carolyn Manning. Because this is the linen color I wanted to use. So there is the progress I have. And these are the colors I've picked. And let me see if I can kind of fan them out and show them to you here with the linen. I think they're going to be really good. I haven't obviously stitched with some of the colors yet, but I think it's going to look really pretty. And I just decided to kind of do mine slightly prim rainbow, I guess. Like it's still very much a rainbow, but I just wanted to use some slightly primmer colors. And I'll share them with you, although subject to change as I stitch more on this. So let's see, I'm doing Red Plum, which is the purple. And then my blue is Crystal Lake. And my green is the classic Endive, because that is just like the sampler green. And then yellow, I didn't have a good Gentle Arts yellow, so I just used Classic Colorworks Queen Bee. And then I have Pumpkin Pie for my orange. And my red is Pomegranate, which is like my favorite pinky red. And then you needed a color to do like a needle with some thread and some little words. And so I just picked Wood Trail, which is a brownie gray color. So I'm super, super happy with this. And I thought I would just work on it till it was done. And then of course I got distracted. So I got 2.5 letters put in, and then started the little, you know, I think it says every day in that brown color underneath. but I don't know. I love rainbows, and it's June and it's Pride Month, and I'm like, what better time to stitch a rainbow than in June? So I just had to start this immediately, even though I really don't have time to stitch on it right now, but I'm gonna make time. So this is 40 count linen. I'm stitching 1 strand over 2 linen threads. I always stitch 1 thread over 2 linen threads, or 1 strand over 2 linen threads on 36 and 40. I get that question a lot, so yeah. Love it. And thank you to Nicole for the inspiration. One more whip. And it is Teresa Kogut, Land That I Love. And I will tell you why. So I've been doing WhipGo this year. WhipGo is a stitching challenge that was started by Jessie Marie Does Stuff, who has a YouTube channel and Instagram account and a Facebook page specifically for WhipGo. I'll link to the Facebook group, which has all the instructions for WhipGo, in the description box below. And WhipGo is just a challenge to help you get working on certain whips and kind of meet goals. And so on my board, I had listed Land That I Love on 2 spots, and I had listed it for 10 days each. And so this came up earlier in the year. I stitched 10 days, and I kind of thought that maybe the next time it came around for 10 days, I could get it done. It hasn't been called again, but the other day I was like, what if I just stitch on it till July 4th and see if I can finish it? Because that's, I don't know, like 15 days from now. And I think I could, but this is what you guys missed in yesterday's video. I'm sad I can't post that, but I was telling my mom this and the camera this, and I like talked myself out of it. So I'm no longer just going to be stitching on this until July 4th to finish it. I think I'll finish it when it comes up again, when it's called for WhipGo. But if I stitched on this for the rest of the month, that means I'm not going to meet any of my June WhipGo goals. And I've been so good at hitting those goals every month, and I kind of don't want to like derail myself now because I've been enjoying all the progress I'm getting. So I decided yesterday while filming, I put the kibosh on finishing this one right now, and I'll just wait till it comes up in WhipGo. That's the backstory. Let me show you the whip. So this only got 1 day of work on it, so it doesn't look that different from the last time you saw it, but I'll show it to you again. Yeah, here is Land That I Love by Teresa Kogut. I'm stitching this on a 36 count Zweigart linen that started as the color limestone, and I over dyed it with tan and brown Rit dye to grunge it up and make it look a little bit closer to the fabric color I wanted. I started this one in July, I think July 6th of 2020 is exactly when I started this. I wanted it to be my July 4th start, but one of the supplies I needed like didn't come until the day after the 4th of July. So yeah, this one is almost 3 years old. And okay, I'm not going to finish it by July 6th, but I think this will get done this year when it gets called for WhipGo. So I decided to just set this one back down. I think I just filled in more of the big giant tan house and then brought the bottom border all the way over to the corner. That's kind of what I worked on this week. And yeah, I think I was telling my mom this yesterday, but I'm so sick of stitching this house. And apologies, I had a cough. I'm so sick of stitching this house that for some reason I decided, let me count how many stitches are in this house. And I think it's like almost 3,000 stitches are in this big giant tan house over here. It goes all the way over to where this brick ends. So I'm about halfway, but I will get there because it's beautiful. And thank goodness I've already done the other houses. Like past me really planned for the future, because when I started this in 2020, I forced myself to work all the way down to the bottom. Like I started up here and worked all the way down, and then I did this big house as one of the first things I stitched, because I knew when I got to the end of the sampler, I was not going to want to stitch all 3 of those giant houses. So just one left to stitch. I'll get there and then I'll fill everything else in. So let's see, I'm using all of Teresa's called for floss colors, which is a mix of Fancy Floss and DMC, 36 count fabric, 1 strand over 2 threads. And yeah, I absolutely love this and I cannot wait to have this done. Okay, so those are all my cross stitch whips, but let's talk about WhipGo again for a second because I just brought it up. I decided yesterday mid-filming that I did want to stick to my goals, and I do want to get my 2 June projects done in June. And no, I have not started either one of them. Luckily, they're kind of small goals, so I think I can do it. I have 11 and a half days left of this month, and I think one of them will take me 3 days. So then that will let the other one take 7 or not 8 if it needs it. So I think I have plenty of time. I just need to get started this evening after I film. So the 2 WIPGO goals I'm gonna try to get done by the end of June are Santa's Trips by Barbara Anna. And that's what this chart looks like. And this is one of my goals from last month. So you just saw this, and I stitched this center block. And sorry, let me open that up a little bit more. So my goal for this month will be to get this block done, and I want to fill in the border on both sides. So this is the one I think will take me about 3 days of stitching. 3, maybe 4, depending on how busy I am this week. We'll see. So that's the first goal I'm going to try to get done in WIPGO. And then the second one is my Drawn Thread Sunnyside sampler. Okay, so here's what the chart looks like. And this is a big SAL, a big stitch along going on right now for a lot of people who attend Stitch West. And they're doing kind of one section, like one house per month. And that kind of inspired me to put it on my WIPGO board because I have this as a WIP. This is one of the very first things I ever kitted up with silks, and the list is long. So I was like, I have all these beautiful, expensive silks sitting here kitted up in this project. I need to stitch this. And it's also beautiful. I love it. The only thing that keeps me from stitching on it all the time is the fact that it's all big giant houses and that there is a lot of over 1. So the whole verse of Keep on the Sunny Side of Life that's stitched across the top of this design is all over 1. And I hate stitching 1 over 1. Because I can't do my normal sewing method, and that's, if I can't do my normal sewing method, I don't want to stitch it. Anyways, that's the only reason this project has lingered so long. This is also almost 3 years old, probably maybe 2.5 years old. So I really would like to finish it, but I only put it on my WIPGO board once or twice to finish one little section. So let me show you where it's at right now so we can see the before. Here is where mine is at. So I always start on the right side of my projects and stitch right to left. So my alphabet's backwards, but I've made it, what have I made it to? Q. And I've got 3 of the houses done, 4 houses done. So whatever is right next to this big white house. Oh, okay. So it actually, instead of being a house, it's actually going to be this big cherry tree right here. So I'll stitch the big cherry tree, the fence, and the letters underneath it. So that's not bad at all, honestly. So that'll be the section that I work on at the end of June and try to get wrapped up and keep getting progress on this one. I am stitching this almost entirely called for. I did, let's see, did I buy this as a kit? No, I didn't. I kitted this up myself. You can buy this as a kit from the Drawn Thread, and I would highly recommend that because then you get exactly what you need thread-wise. But I don't think I knew that they sold kits when I was kitting this one up myself. But if you like Drawn Thread, and they have so many good charts, go check out their website because they sell a lot of them kitted up, which is great. But I'm using, I think this calls for 32 count flax, and I'm using 36 count, and 1 strand of the silks, all the called for silks. So absolutely beautiful project, and I definitely want to get this one done at some point, so I need to keep working on it. Watching Pam from Just Keep Stitching, she shows hers like every other week depending on her stitch along rotation, and I love seeing her progress, and it's definitely motivating me. So that's ultimately why I decided, like, just let go of Land That I Love. It'll come up later in the year. Just stay on track, stay on board, because I'm worried that, like, if I start moving stuff around, I'm just gonna abandon my plans. So anyways, okay, that's WIPGO. So for a sewing segment, I did not have any sewing over the past 2 weeks, but my mom has been sewing like a maniac, and she has made, I think, 6 quilts, and she made herself a fanny pack, a belt bag, from that same pattern that I did, the Emerson crossbody bag. So this is a segment where I'm going to attempt to splice in some video from yesterday of my mom talking about her quilts, along with some videos and pictures of her quilts that we took, so that you can see them and that she did not come over here for nothing, because she has beautiful things to show off, but somehow something went wrong while we were filming. And to be honest, I'm like crossing my fingers so hard that nothing is going wrong right now, because it looks fine on my phone screen. I use the front facing camera. I can see myself. It does not look like I'm in a hazy sunshine fog, but I'm really nervous to watch this back later and see what it looks like. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Okay, let's see some quilts.
First was I made a little, I call them fanny pack.
Yeah.
But I think it's belt bag is the new term.
Apparently, everybody's like, just say fanny pack. It's fine. Yeah. So this is the Emerson crossbody bag, and it is, I brought mine too, that I showed you guys right here. Oh, there it is. Everything's everywhere. So here's the one I made, and then Mom had to make one. Yeah. Look how cute.
So, and then I just did some, this is all scraps that I had in my stash.
And I lent her some of my big Amazon chunky zippers.
Yes, and the webbing that she had extra of, and the belt, the belt pieces, whatever these.
They're called side buckles, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the buckle and the webbing and.
Yeah. So, and then it's got, the little phone pocket here.
Uh-huh. Have you used it yet?
I actually have.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm like too scared to use mine. So I made this and I'm obsessed with it, and I've used it a couple of times, but I didn't bring it with me on our Colorado trip. I'll put a picture in here. I just got a cheapy black nylon one off of Amazon because I was like too afraid I was going to ruin this.
Yeah.
But I love it.
Yeah. And these are some old Denise Schmidt fabrics that we got.
From Joann's?
From Joann's.
Yeah, Denise Schmidt used to design fabrics for Joann's every once in a while, and we were obsessed with them.
And this was, I think, cotton and steel.
Yep.
So, anyway.
It turned out so cute.
And then,
I love the orange on top.
So, Sarah wants one.
She's and you just use quilt batting?
Yes, I used quilt batting in mine.
So the pattern calls for quilt batting. And it honestly, it feels really nice. But you might see, like, I use the soft and stable, so mine is like a fully,
yours is more structured. And
but this is the version with quilt batting. So you can see they really turn out about the same.
Yeah. This is more floppy.
Yeah, this is just a little floppier, but super cute.
And then I have one fully finished quilt. And this was Sarah's for her birthday.
So we'll put in videos and pictures so you can see the whole thing, but we'll hold them up too.
Yeah. So her backing, she bought these Liberty of London sheets. And then she bought a duvet cover a duvet set so she could get the pillow shams. And I tore apart the duvet cover and used half of it to do the backing for her quilt.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
And then,
it feels really nice too.
Yeah, so it's the sateen
high quality sheets.
sheets make a nice quilt backing. And then this is the Denise Schmidt pattern, freewheeling single girl quilt.
Yeah, you guys might remember I made the single girl quilts. I finished it a couple years ago, a year and a half maybe.
Yeah.
And they have since revamped the pattern. So Mom bought the new version of, it's called Freewheeling Single Girl, and I'll link it down below.
Yeah.
And so she made that for my sister Sarah.
Yeah, and after I bought it, I found out that they make the acrylic templates, and I just bought the printable ones. Well, I didn't know. So anyway,
I thought about restarting mine because I wanted those templates. Because the first version of the pattern, everything is these little paper templates, and I cut everything out like by hand, and it was crazy. But once I had everything cut out, I was like, oh, I can't restart it. But I really did almost think about restarting mine because they really released the pattern and had like acrylic templates and everything.
Yeah. Well, and I had a hard time getting started on it because the way the directions were written, to me, it seemed like there would be a lot of wasted fabric because it's like, just lay it over a little bit and move them as you go. And I'm like, but I need like precise Anyway.
I know, I'm really bad with the improv stuff too because I don't like to waste fabric. I like everything to be very like, how can I maximize this fabric?
Yeah. But then once I got into it, I figured out that, oh, this way you can never make a mistake. You can never cut any of your fabric wrong. So, and there was, you know, just a little, like a 1/2 inch on each side of the arc waist. And so, you know.
And then you use scraps for the binding.
Yep. And then I used all the scraps. So I started with, I think, 21 fat quarters, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. This is a Anna Maria Horner fabric.
Oh, yeah.
That was Sarah's favorite designer. So
Anna Maria Horner she makes amazing fabrics. That's mine. My single girl quilt was out of Anna Maria Horner fabrics too. Yes. Oh, it was a fat quarter bundle from like 2014 or, you know, it was a long time ago. But it's one of her fabric lines.
So, yeah. And then, yes, it is a scrappy one.
And it has been washed, which is why it's all nice and crinkly.
Yes.
Sarah has been using it on her bed.
Washed and used. So.
If she has I think she has a picture of it on her bed. I'll put up in here too.
Oh, yeah. So. And then I did finish, so the last time I was here, I was working on Melanie's quilt.
Which one?
Which was the tulip pink.
Yes, we can put in pictures of that one.
I'll share a picture.
Yeah, what you did the Lucky Log Cabins.
Lucky Log Cabins.
From Emily Dennis, who is a great follow on Instagram if you're not. She shares a lot in her stories of like quilts she's working on as she works on them, which is really fun to watch. So, and she has awesome patterns that are like very scrap friendly and fat quarter friendly. So, yeah.
And so this one is the next one that's almost finished. So I'll show you the finished part of it. It's a little baby quilt. I'm going to a baby shower next weekend. And it's just I think it's called Swiss Cross is the pattern, but it works up real easy. And
is it a free pattern?
No, it's not a free pattern, I don't think.
Okay.
No. So I've just had it for a while.
Hatch.
And then I just quilted it on my machine and did the little back. Yeah, and then this was from another, I think this might be the back of Ben's quilt.
Oh, yeah?
Maybe.
Back of his dinosaur quilt?
The back of his dinosaur quilt. Yeah, and then the binding might look familiar because it is the scraps that I cut off of Sarah's backing. And there were just enough to do the binding for this quilt. So, and then this is the next as far as amount of completeness done. And I showed this one before.
Yeah, you showed this as a quilt top when you
were here
quilt top before. So this is like a Christmas pattern.
Quilted now, and I still need to get some binding.
And I helped her pick out the quilting design.
Yes,
look at the cute little snowflakes and the little stars.
And I love the way that the design shows up on the white because there's so much white in this.
Yeah, there's so much white, and so she used this green thread, and we'll put in some pictures of it. We'll hold them up and take a little video. And she used this really pretty variegated green thread to kind of fill in some of the white space. And then the backing is just this kind of green tie-dye-ish. Is it a tie-dye? Marble?
They call it green grunge.
Grunge, okay.
So,
yeah.
So I just need to find some binding. I just, you know, since it's Christmas, it's not been at the top of the list to finish. Yeah. But I quilted it when I did Sarah's quilt. And
yeah, she had a quilty day, and I went and visited and helped her pick a pattern and
set it up and watch it, babysit it for me, you know, all that
well,
good stuff.
I made a mistake, so I felt bad. So I was like, oh, I gotta stick around and make sure we sort it out because, you know, as much as I use those machines, I feel like I know what I'm doing all the time. And then I was like, oh, oops, I messed it up.
Oh, and then, well, so this one is a finished top that I have a quilting appointment for next weekend. So
okay.
This is for one of Dad's aunts.
Guys, can you believe how many quilts she's made? And we're not done.
So I think it's 3x4. It's just a lap quilt.
Yeah.
And she's only 5 foot tall.
Yeah.
So it'll be more. It's 64 inches.
What was this fabric from? Was this leftover
from
Dad's
is leftover. The floral is leftover backing from Allison's quilt that she made for Maureen. And the blue is leftover backing fabric from Dad's quilt.
I can't believe you pressed to the side. Who are you?
I know, don't look.
No, I think, I mean, it's like half and half. I feel like half people press to the side, half people press
Sometimes I
open.
do and sometimes I don't. It depends on the quilt. Like the little baby quilt, I press those open.
Okay.
But this one, it's just easier because of the bulk to press it to the side.
Interesting.
So, anyway, that was this one. And it will be quilted and I don't know. I think I have some light blue. So I have some light blue chambray fabric that I'm going to do the backing.
Okay.
And then I have some kind of light blue floral that I didn't use in Dad's quilt because I didn't think it was
manly,
very manly looking fabric. So I think I'll use that for the binding on this. But yeah, so that was using up those scraps. And then these scraps I wanted to make even bigger Sawtooth Star blocks.
I mean,
so these are 20-inch blocks, and this is 3 of them. So it's 60 inches.
wow.
And I bought these fabrics years ago, like probably
Is this
10
an
years
Amy
ago.
Butler?
It's an Amy Butler.
I recognize it.
Yeah.
I used to love Amy Butler's fabrics. Does she still design fabrics anymore?
You know, I haven't seen any of hers
I haven't
lately.
either.
I
I'm
know
gonna have to look that up.
she did a lot of patterns too. So
Uh-huh.
I bought it to do the weekender bag, and
Yeah.
then I ended up making it scrappy quilted.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, and then I made all these blocks, laid them out, and I'll give you a picture of the layout because these are the only ones I have sewn together. And everybody was like, yeah.
It's very cute.
No takers for it, but I just left Molly's house, Aunt Molly's house, and
is she liking it?
yeah, she wants it. So now I have to finish it. So
it looks awesome. Those are huge. So you just did the measurements with the
Did
you do the 4 at a time?
I did the 4 at a time. There's a website I'll send you the link to where this lady has done all the measurements. I think it's Susie Quilts.
Yes. Susie Quilts has it.
And so she went up to 16-inch, and I was like, we'd go a lot faster if they were 20-inch blocks. So how much do we add there? And so I just increased the measurements, and so
my favorite way, and I think Mom's favorite way now to do those flying geese or the Sawtooth Stars is to do the 4 at a time because it really goes fast. I think the first pattern I ever used that for was Meadowland by Then Came June. And I was like, what is this witchcraft? Because it's so quick and easy. And then what did I just recently
the one you gave me?
Well, yes. So I used it on yours, but the
you made
Meadowland, that bed quilt I made myself,
okay.
and then I used the technique to make your Sawtooth Star Christmas quilt.
Yeah.
And then I used that technique for my Starstruck quilt that I'm still working on, which turns out tiny Sawtooth Stars are harder to make.
Yeah.
They are. These 20-inch ones are a lot easier apparently. So
yeah, they go together. I made the pink, the blue, and the baby quilt all since last Saturday.
God.
Just got on a kick.
And I haven't even sewn in 2 weeks. I was out of town.
Yeah, I've been busy celebrating.
Becoming
a big girl.
I don't want to be one. Okay, I'm popping in for a minute because I forgot to show you my knitting. Mom just left and I realized I didn't ever show you guys my knitting progress. So I did, let's see, I think last time I was waiting to kind of be able to split off the armholes and just be able to like knit the body. And I made it to there. I made it to that point. So I did take this with me on my trip and I worked on this quite a lot out by the pool, in addition to like the cross stitch stuff I was working on, but I knit a lot while I was gone. So let's see, how do I show this? It's like a little crop top now. It's got sleeves, it's got the V-neck. Yeah, I've made a lot of progress. I actually took a picture of me trying it on the other night. I've knit a little bit more of it since then, but I'll put that picture in here. And just as a reminder, this is the Rocket Tee by Tanis Fiber Arts, and I'll put a link to the pattern down below if you're interested. And I am knitting with Madeline Tosh Merino Light. And I think I'm using a size 5 needle to get the desired gauge, which is bigger than you would think for like a fingering weight yarn. But I guess when you're knitting socks, because most of the time I've knit with like fingering weight, it's been like for socks or shawls, I would use like a tighter, like a smaller needle. But I had to use a size 5 to get the gauge. And so it's kind of an open, you know, a stretchy knit. But it's fitting and it's the right size and I'm very happy with it. So this was excellent. Plain stitching, excellent by the pool stitching. And yeah, I'm loving being a knitter again. And this has definitely been taking up some of my stitching time. So I feel like I have a little bit less cross stitch progress, but that's okay. I'm having fun knitting again. So anyways, okay, I just had to insert this little clip to show you that I have in fact been knitting. Okay, back to the video. Okay, thank you, Mom, so much for coming over. Sorry I ruined our video, but mwah, thank you. She's been sewing so much, right? I have a little bit of happy mail to show you, and this, I guess I should take it out of the package before I start talking. Be a professional. Fat Quarter Shop sent me some of their new goodies to show you guys here, and the first one is from Lori Holt, and it's part of her chicken club. And I think this is so adorable. And I was telling my mom yesterday when I was showing this that I love, so this is a series that Lori designs based on a quilt that she made called the Chicken Salad Quilt. And I love that the big blocks of where you would kind of think it would be solid stitching is actually little patterns and it looks like quilt fabric. So I don't know. I just think Lori's like a very clever designer. So cute. So that is the new Chicken Club, Hank, and they do have a monthly club, but you can also buy these individually on Fat Quarter Shop. Then I got a copy of their Star Spangled Ornaments. And what you might have missed from yesterday's video is that when I showed this, my mom immediately grabbed it and speculated that the ornaments she thinks would fit inside these little dollar store hoops, like finishing hoops that she found. So last time she was on my video, she showed these dollar store hoops that came with little cross stitch charts that you could stitch letters into. And big thank you, oh, I'm forgetting your name now, but to the woman who mailed my mom the M through Z chart or N through Z, thank you, she got it, thank you. But anyway, she was speculating that maybe some of these little designs could fit in those little dollar store hoops. So I'm gonna lend her this chart for sure, so she can try that out. And then this is the Patriotic Typeface series where they do kind of these little patriotic designs with words like text on the side. Super cute. And then they have the It's So Emma Summertime Simply Signs. And so this is just the summertime sign. And I love that it's like watermelon colors, just like the classic summer colors. And then they sent the May Stackables, and this is their monthly series. Really, really pretty colors in this one. So yeah, if you're interested in any of these, I will have everything linked down below. And then the other little bit of happy mail I have actually came from Amy, who is Mrs. Flossie here on Flosstube, and she has started designing cross stitch, and she reached out to me and asked if I wanted one of her designs, and I picked this one, which is a stitching case, and this is super cute. It's designed to go on top of those little jewelry cases that people are buying on Amazon and kind of converting into stitching cases. Super, super cute idea. I'm not entirely sure if I'm gonna make one of those stitching cases, but I like the design anyways, and I just thought it was super cute, so that's the one I picked. And she also offered to give away a chart out of her Etsy shop to one of you guys. So if you want to enter to win one of Mrs. Flossie's lovely charts, it could be the stitching case, and then she has a few others, including a redwork sampler, and I'll just put a couple images up here, and I'm also going to link her Etsy shop down below. You should go check it out. But if you want to be entered to win one of her cross stitch designs, just use the word Mrs. Flossie somewhere in your comment, and I'll do a drawing in my next video. For my giveaways, if you want to be entered to win, just be a subscriber, like the video, and leave a comment. And in your comment, you'll use a keyword, and that way I know you want to be entered to win. So in addition to Mrs. Flossie giveaway, I also wanted to do an Etsy giveaway. So I'm going to give away 2 $25 gift cards to Etsy, and all you have to do is leave a comment with the word Etsy somewhere in your comment. Why do I always repeat myself? All you have to do is leave a comment and use the word something in your comment. we've reached the point where I start making fun of myself on camera. It's almost my 3-year Flosstube anniversary. That is my next video. My next video will be 3 years on Flosstube. I started in July of 2020. And I talked about this yesterday, so now I feel silly repeating myself, but I can't believe I've been doing it for 3 years. I can't believe I ever started it in the first place. I know I come across very outgoing and talkative, and I am, but I'm also not, I don't know, like I'm not like a performer or anything. And so it is very, I can't believe that I started doing this, and I can't believe I still do it. And I love it so much. So cheers to 3 more. Anyways, I just wanted to do a little early celebration with some Etsy gift cards, and I'm sure I think I'm going to plan on doing like some pattern bundles, because I've got a bunch of stuff in my giveaway bin up here. So maybe I'll put together some like giveaway bundles and do that for kind of a 3-year celebration next time. We'll see. I have a little bit of haul. I was telling Mom this yesterday, but somehow I only bought myself one thing. I think I bought myself early birthday gifts, because I know I showed you guys the Stripology ruler, which I have not used yet. If you could only see this table, there's been no fabric cutting because there's nowhere to put anything on this table. But other than that, I haven't bought myself anything. What? So yeah, the only thing that came in the mail was a club kit from Laundry Basket Quilts. And let me take the lid off this. This is the June Fat Quarter Club shipment. And look at these beautiful fabrics. Very red, white, and blue. So pretty. And this month they sent us, do I have it? Yes. They sent us a free pattern to go along with our Fat Quarter bundle. So it's called Triangle Delight #1, and it's mocked up, you know, using the fat quarter, so you can see exactly what it's going to look like in your fat quarters, which is so cool. So yeah, I think the first month of my club didn't have any extras in it, but the second month had those like greeting cards, and the third month has this pattern. So this is a really good, fun club to get. So I'll link this below if you're interested, but this is the Laundry Basket Quilts Club, Fat Quarter Club of the Month, directly through her website, and non-sponsored. I just love it. So that was my only haul. Do I have any plans? I told you about my WhipGo plans. That's kind of my immediate plans. I also really want to start a new quilt, and I know I've got several in progress that need to be done, but I kind of just want to start something new. I don't know. But yeah, Mom's been inspiring me with all her quilt making, so I really need to jump back in and get some quilts done. But first, I have to clean this room. If they're like a specific craft room cleaning service, because, okay, I don't know about you guys, but we've had a cleaning service come to the house before, like on a regular basis, and I always just tell them, don't come in my craft room, right? Because they don't know where things go. I don't want this to take up hours of, you know, them cleaning the bathroom and the kitchen and the house that like we all use, right? Like the craft room, I feel like I should maintain. But I'm like, is there like a craft specific service? Like I need somebody to come once a week and just put this room back together, because I'm not doing it. Does that service exist? Can somebody partner with me and we become millionaires with our on-demand craft room cleaning service? Yeah. Okay. I think that's all I have to share. I'm getting rambly and staring out in space because I'm trying to think of other fun stuff I have. But I think that's it. Hopefully I'll have more time to make more videos soon. I feel like I've just been making a couple a month, and that's about all I've had time for lately, but we'll see what happens. Until the next one, thank you so much for watching. Bye.